All right. Good morning, everybody. Today is April 2nd, 2026, and this is the Derita Matters meeting, um, part of Derita Statesville Road Community Organization. I don't think I have any fellow board members on. Oh, hang on. I do believe Thomas is here, so good. Let me just go through what we do. Most of these meetings kind of came out of a business association meeting that started with breakfast at Maria's back in the day and transitioned into the Zoom calls and then became more focused on land use and city policy and county policy on land use, basically, because that is most fundamental to our lives. I've not rewritten, but added some history about the organization, but I don't need to go into that right now. Just to explain the area that we focus on in these meetings. Downtown Derita is sort of centered at Mallard Creek and Sugar Creek, where the little shopping center is with Maria's, etc. And then about a 2.5 mile radius out from there is the area bound by 77 here in the west, 85 roughly on the south, and Harris Boulevard connecting the two to create that kind of heart shape, is the area that we focus on. That's another view of the area on Google Maps, showing, it's about a 2.5 mile radius. All the data comes from the Quality of Life Explorer. The link is here in the slides always, and there's any amount of data that is collected from the census and various other sources that is compiled here. And you can drill down to a small area, or as I've done here, I've combined roughly all the neighborhood, the NPAs, they call them. I forget what the acronym stands for, but each of these shapes is an NPA, and I've combined the ones that comprise the area that we're talking about. So you can see about 13,000 acres. Just some little factoids about that same area, drawing from the Quality of Life and various other sources. Our meeting schedule for 2026, I'm sorry we missed March, but we have April, May, and June. We will have no meeting in July, and then the other meetings are planned for the first Thursday at 9 a.m. And that's it. I'm going to give you guys all a chance to introduce yourselves, and we'll come to our county commissioner and city staff at the end in case you have anything more to share than just your introduction. I'm Teresa McDonald. I am a realtor with Howard Hanna Allen Tate and a resident of Allen Hills on the Derita Statesville Road Community Organization, and coming up to the end of 3 years on the Charlotte Planning Commission. And I'm going to go to Thomas Templeton.
Good morning. Yeah, this is Thomas Templeton. I'm a lifelong resident of the Royal Oaks neighborhood for more decades than I care to say right now. But for those who don't know, Royal Oaks is the neighborhood that's bounded within Graham Street and Sugar Creek Roads north of 85. And I was formerly the chairman for the neighborhood association, and I currently serve on the board for the Derita Statesville Road organization as well.
Thank you, Thomas. Let's see, Felicia. Are you able to introduce yourself? Oh, there you are.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Felicia Mason, and I am a community member of Cardinal Glen. This is year 26 for me in Cardinal Glen.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Jill Stevenson.
Hi, good morning. I'm Jill Stevenson. I'm the HOA president for General's Point off of Gibbon Road. Been here for 25 years.
Thank you. Dr. Penn.
Good morning, top of the day. I'm Dr. Blanche Penn, Great Oaks community off of Graham Sugar Creek. I've been here almost about 30-something years. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's see who else. Oh, Hashim, are you able to talk?
Yeah, I'm Hashim Halim. I live off Gibbon Road near Sugar Creek intersection. I've been in Derita for around 7 years.
Awesome. Good to see you.
Happy to be here.
John. John, are you able to introduce yourself?
Jonathan Hoy.
Thank you. And Jeanette, tell us what you've got going on.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeanette Kennard. I am the executive director of Champion House of Care, where we support teens and adults with disability. Also, we have Champion House of Care Project 1, where we're fighting food insecurity and supporting kids who are homeless. We are located in the Derita Presbyterian Church in the Fellowship Hall. And we are proud to say that now we're up to 1,500 boxes a week when people coming to get food.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, it has really grown. Yes.
Yeah. And is that a drive-in pickup?
Seniors have a drive-in pickup on Thursdays
Okay.
from 1:30 to 2:30, just for seniors 62 and older. Everyone else is a walk-in, and I'll send you the schedule so you can send it out to everyone. Just about me, I am on the displacement team for the city. I am on the board for Crisis Assistant Ministry. I'm on the umbrella team with CMPD, just getting some information out to our unsheltered community. And we service our kids in the I-85 Sugar Creek corridor over on Reagan Drive. We're proud to say that April 25th, we'll be hosting a Royal Sneaker Ball, and we're using United Methodist Church for individuals with disability 13 and older, and seniors are welcome to come out and enjoy an awesome night of elegance.
So which Methodist church is that one?
United Methodist Church, right down the corner of Sugar Creek and
Harris?
T. Harris.
W.T. Harris? Okay. I know the one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. George Dunlap,
Okay.
let's put it out there. Come get your dance move on.
Yeah, send me all that, and I can put I can put the flyer in the email that goes out, and also, you can always post on Derita News on the Facebook page.
Okay.
Anything that you want to publicize.
Yes. What
try to
anybody in need of food, send them over. Second Harvest sending us sometime 5 trucks at one time, and we're pushing it out.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. So it's
All right.
been here 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. And if you haven't been over to Derita Presbyterian, you can see all the projects that Jeanette has led over there, like the new playground. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's more I don't even know about, but thanks for that. All right, Kelsey, let's go to you quickly, City of Charlotte. I don't know if you've got anything in particular to share or you're listening, but I'm going to close my window. I think it's a bit noisy, but Kelsey.
Yeah. Good morning, Kelsey Preston, City of Charlotte's Corridors Opportunity Program, and I serve as the Community Engagement Lead for Corridors. And I actually do have something on May 19th. There will be the Sugar Creek I-85 Corridor Update Meeting. So similar to last year, we'll have partners there just providing or partners there to table and provide information about any type of upcoming opportunities, engagement that they may have. And we'll also have the general services team there for the West Sugar Creek Mobility Project that will be happening along Sugar Creek all the way up, all the way to Derita. So they'll be there to provide information about the real estate acquisition process and things like that. So that will be on May 19th at the Sugar Creek Recreation Center. And once I have a flyer and any other promotional materials, I'll send that over so that you can distribute that to everyone.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, that sounds like that's a must attend for all of us. Thank you very much. And last but not least, and thank you so much for being here, Commissioner Dunlap.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is George Dunlap. I was fortunate to live in the Derita community for 32 years in Cary Hills. And about 8 years ago, I opted for a ranch home and moved out a little further to Mallet Creek, but I'm still in the area. There are two things I want to brief you on this morning that I think are important. And I want to talk first about the I-77 debate. Uh, and the reason I want to talk about that is because, with the transportation um, referendum that passed, the red line will be going through Derita. And I want people to pay attention to what's going on with the I-77 issue so that we can get ahead of that when the red line comes through. So much of the community don't know what's really going on and why things are happening the way they're happening and whose responsibility is what. So with the I-77 issue, this thing has been moving for about 10 years. And now they get to a point where they're actually um, drawing some maps about what I-77 would look like uh, when they finally complete the um, expansion. And of course, a lot of people are upset. Part of the issue is that they have maps. Not a lot of people understand maps. They don't have renderings. Renderings are drawings where you can see the streetscape, you can see where the sound barriers are, you could actually see where the roads are, things of that nature. And so a lot of people don't understand that. I will tell you, though, as a result of the community pressure, they have made significant changes in the original plan, and the plan that they're presenting now does the least amount of harm to the neighborhoods, to the creeks and streams that exist, to the parks, and other places of importance through our community. People keep telling you that everybody lied, nobody told the truth. Um, I don't know that you could say that they lied. I think a lot of people didn't anticipate what would happen, and a lot of people didn't ask questions, and now those questions are being raised. There are actually some people who actually believe that they can stop the I-77 process. But let me just share this with you. And this is my personal belief, and I have reason to believe this because I've been involved in this ever since this project got started. The I-77 project will happen. It doesn't matter what people say, because the project is not about Charlotte. It's really about interstate commerce. It's about how we move trucking, how we move products from the south part of our country to the northern part of our country. And I-77 is that thoroughfare. So I-77 is going to happen. And I tell people this, and some people don't want to hear the truth. The best thing you can do is advocate to mitigate some of the damage that might occur as a result of them expanding I-77. The issue about whether it's a toll road or not is an issue that was created basically by our state government. Some of you will recall a few years ago, they stopped collecting gasoline tax. Gasoline tax was the way that we paid for road improvements. So they no longer pay for road improvements out of gasoline tax. So that money is no longer available. In addition to that, our state government has reduced significantly corporate taxes. They think that makes the state more attractive. Uh, that's debatable. But the bottom line is those dollars are no longer available either. So what we have to do with I-77 is a limited amount of funds. I think it was like $600 million, then $100 million for community improvements, and that's it. Unless the state government allocates more dollars, and the likelihood of that happening is kind of like slim to none. So I wanted people to have that information up front to know. But if you're concerned about I-77, then you might want to um, pay attention to what's going on with the debate and discussion around I-77. The last thing I'll mention to you is that it is budget season for both the city and the county. If there are things that you would like to see in the budget, now is the time to do that. The county does something a little bit different than the city. I can't tell you what the city process is. Maybe somebody online can, but I can tell you that for the county process, we have hearings where people can go in advance of the budget being released to talk about the things that they'd like to see. Then you will have the county manager release his proposed budget. In other words, this is the amount of money I think we'll generate, and this is how we should spend it. Once the county manager does that, then he gives it over to the county commission, and the county commission will debate whether or not the county's budget is the appropriate budget or not. All the while, people have opportunities to go to county commission meetings and to speak in favor of or against what is being proposed, so that when the county commission adopts the budget, it most likely reflects what you'd like to see in the budget. There are a number of ways to participate. I think at Park and Recreation, you can participate in the surveys. You can do the surveys online. You can attend the county commission meeting. But this is the time to do that. So I wanted to make sure that people aren't behind the eight ball. And if you're interested in the budgeting process, please, ma'am, please, sir, participate in both the city and the county budgeting process. Thank you, Teresa. I think that's it.
Teresa, this is Dr. Blanche Penn. May I make a comment, please?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I really want to thank Commissioner Dunlap for sharing his information with us, and I definitely agree with a lot of things that he has said. But we do have a lot of people out here, organizations out here with the People Budget, with Action NC. We also have people out here, talking about the I-77, and so it's not. And it's good that if our elected official, the same way Dunlap is also giving us information here, even soon as they would find out this information, and Commissioner Dunlap, this will help us too. As soon as you find out the information, because y'all get it firsthand, if you share that information with us so much sooner, then sometime we can work on it so much better if we get the information early, not in the middle, not at the back, and then we're trying to catch up. And then it's already a done deal, because you already said it's a done deal, no matter how much we still be in the try to get into it now. But what is a better way for us community people to get this information so that way we will be on the front line instead of in the middle or the back line?
Well, let me just say this, Blanche, and you make a valid point. And it's kind of interesting how this whole thing came about. But this has been being discussed for 10 years. For 10 years. And now that they move, I don't really fully understand the process because it's a state process, but it's going from the beginning to the end. This whole project will probably take about 20 years. And so they are just now at a stage where they're looking at what land they need to purchase. For example, one of the things that's going to happen as a result of the current plan is they're going to have to remove about 29 homes along I-77. If you're familiar with West Boulevard and I-77, there's some homes there that face the freeway. About 29 of those homes are going to have to be um, moved or eliminated. Um, and so the people will be compensated. Now, some people will be compensated better than their homes are. Some people may have some issues, but they have a right to advocate to DOT, to the state, about what they think the value of their homes are. But this thing has been moving for 10 years, and mostly the discussion has been with Cartpole. It was just recent that people start having that discussion outside. Cartpole meetings are open, so anybody can go at any time. You can actually sign up to speak at their meetings. Um, and I'm not a Cartpole member, uh, but I try to keep up with that kind of stuff the same way Teresa tries to keep up with zoning and planning for the Derita community to make us aware of what's coming uh, in our area so that we will be abreast of that. But you make a valid point. I think that maybe in the future we could do a better job when we see things coming, whether we think the community might be interested or not. Maybe we ought to just share that information because you never know who might be interested. Good point.
Thank you. Anybody else got any questions or
Give me a kiss so you can talk.
Yeah,
was it
Teresa.
you, Thomas? Yeah.
Yes. You know, there's been obviously a lot of talk about the I-77 project and its effect or future effect on the city and the neighborhoods it already has torn up in the past and divided, and the impact it's had on this city by being run almost right through the middle of it. And, you know, my sister a couple of months ago said, you know, why don't we just rip the thing up? And I started thinking about that, like, you know, that sounded like, oh, they're not going to do that. They're going to, you know, they're going to do like Commissioner Dunlap is saying. They're going to continue forward with this project in some form or the other. But there's also been a recent article, opinion article in the Observer, pointing to the fact that many cities and communities have done just that, that they have decided not to continue to run a giant interstate right through the middle of their city, and they've done other things. Now, that takes alternate thinking to start going down that pathway, or to at least consider it. But we already have a loop road around this city, so the interstate commerce that flows from north to south, I don't care as a citizen of Charlotte if it takes them 20 minutes longer to go around the city than go right through it. And no matter what they do with this project, it's going to cause a significant impact on those neighborhoods that it already has done so in historically, and especially for, you know, and as we know, those projects historically have gone through lower income communities instead of other things as well. So once again, they're asked to shoulder that burden, and it will be a big burden because it'll take years to do that project. If they were to rather spend that money on doing a better method of getting the people that come to Charlotte, whose destination is Charlotte, some better surface roads, or repurpose I-77 as better surface roads, or some other kind of alternate thinking like that, and improve and use the millions of dollars to improve the loop road around Charlotte, maybe we wouldn't have to rip up greenways or affect neighborhoods, or we could heal some of those neighborhoods that have been divided in the past. But and as far as engagement, somebody else was talking about, the NCDOT has now set up an engagement center on Moorhead, real close to 77, I believe. I don't remember the exact address, but I know that they're you can go there, I believe, and speak to some of the people there and have your voice heard that way as well.
Yeah, Thomas, that's a good point. Let me just share with you some of the issues that you raised have been raised with DOT and the people around the state. And the bottom line, and I don't know why people just won't just come out and tell you the truth. There is no money to do the things that you're suggesting we do. And so what they do is they look for ways to alleviate the harm that has been done historically. For example, when they first start talking about this issue, for those of you who are original Charlotte residents, um, that highway split up neighborhoods, cemeteries, you name it. If you drive up north on I-77, north of Trade Street, you'll see a cemetery on the right, and you'll see the other part of that cemetery on the left. That's because they went through the middle of the cemetery. That's the harm that was created then. If you look at some of the neighborhoods where Wilmore was, that neighborhood was split in half. So that's true. Those things happened then. Now, because the state has eliminated all of these taxes that were used to pay for highways, there is no money. And unless you think you can convince our current legislative body to allocate money to fund a project that will send people around the city rather than through the city, have at it. They won't even fund a school budget that they've been mandated through the courts to fund for years. So, lots of great ideas. I mean, we've even debated what it would cost to make a tunnel so that the freeway goes under the freeway. I mean, that money costs billions and billions of dollars. It's just not there.
Oh, I can appreciate the difficulties with dealing with North Carolina. As a lifelong resident, as I said, I've seen it. I've seen them tell us that we're the great state of Mecklenburg. I've seen them, starve us of funds that they go elsewhere into the middle of, pasture land instead. But as far as taxes, yeah, but how it works in Raleigh. They'll fund things that they want to. They'll find money for that when they want to. And you're right. Mecklenburg County traditionally has a very bad problem trying to get them to fund things that we need in this state. Hence, the loop road that we do have is, while Raleigh had 2 different loop roads already, we struggled to get ours even finished. I know there's a long history there of that sort of thing. But at the same time, though, I don't trust DOT to have this county's best interest at heart. They never seem to have, and especially that's true out here in our area. In a sort of microcosm. So when they say they're trying to mitigate things or trying to do better, I frankly can't buy it because of the history of them.
So one last thing, Teresa, and I'm gonna get off the subject, is that there's another thing happening with the I-77 issue. One thing is the freeway coming through. The other thing is whether there will be a toll road or not. And so what is happening is the voices of the people in the community are being overshadowed with the people who say no toll. Now, the question is, why can't it be a free lane? I've answered that. There is no money to make it a free lane. So they make a deal with a private company who can do it faster and cheaper. And people who ride on those extra lanes pay a fee to do so. And so
But it's not an affordable fee. And it's not a fee that it changes. It's not a set fee. That's the issue. It changes with the every day, every hour.
Okay.
let
the commissioner finish, please.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's why I have never ridden a toll road except for when I go north and don't have any choice. But I have never paid to ride a toll road anywhere in our area, not even going down to the beach. I don't ride on them because I don't think it's fair. And the problem with it is that when the state enters into a contract with the company that is most likely to get the bid, they don't have control over the fee. Now, it is possible, because that hadn't been ruled out, that they could make an agreement as to what those fees will be prior to entering to the contract. Because if they enter into the contract with no um, guarantees on those fees, then it'll be too late. But somebody has told me that it costs as much as $25 to ride from uptown to Cornelius on I-77.
Actually,
I'm
it's
just not
about
going to do it.
35. Yes.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
One way.
I just have to interject. I
Oh.
ride the toll road all the time because I live in Derita and my office is in Huntersville. And if I have to go north, and especially if I go downtown, I skip all the mess trying to get from 85 to 77 to 277 by using the toll road. I don't spend more than about $50 a month on tolls. And I drive 15 to 20,000 miles a year. So I don't know where these
What
costs are
exit in
coming
Huntersville?
from.
18, 19, I mean, 20, I don't
No,
know
no,
how we're doing that, Tracy.
my office is in Huntersville. I don't often use the toll road to get to my office because it is just really the slowdowns start right after Gilead if you're going north. And so
True.
if I know I'm going beyond Gilead, yes, I will get on that toll road. And I will use it even just to drive in peace because there's so few cars on the toll road. So I'm one of those people. I'm prepared to pay because my time is worth more to me than to sit in traffic.
Well, I literally
And
drove it last night up to exit 33 in Mooresville, Williamson Road, and it was literally approximately, I added it up, $35. $35 from exit
I want
18
to see
to
your
exit 33.
bill for $35 because I'm not seeing that at all.
It's literally
I drive it a lot.
$6.60 per section. $6.60
So I only brought that up. I only brought that up to
at
say
6 p.m.
that there is a debate among people who support having the toll road and those that don't. And as it stands right now, uh, I-77, at some portions of it, I don't know which portions, will be a toll unless that changes. All right, I'm done with
Yeah, I know. I mean, people are just not gonna agree on these things, I'm afraid.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Dunlap, if the people don't sell in that particular area, then what happened? You know, I was born and raised in here, and I saw 77 because I used to live on 6th Street and went to Irwin, and I saw how they did us, you know. But so if the people don't sell their property and stuff, what happens? Are they forced out, or because you remember this house off of this, I think it's a building or whatever it is. People start building all around that small little thing that's over there off of the I can't remember that
I know
location.
you're talking about the
Is it
Thirsty
Plaza?
Beaver
It's somewhere in
bar.
that area. And he's the only little small place that's still there. I think it's a business, and all the high rises all around him. And every time I passed that, I went like, oh my God. So what if people don't sell, or you have one or two of the people that don't sell? What happens then?
So in this case, once they determine the direction of the street and get all the widening and everything that they need, anything they need, they will take by eminent domain. And eminent domain, I don't necessarily support, but eminent domain is when the state goes in, they take it because they need it, and the courts make them pay a fair price for it. But you can't stop them from getting it. That's the bottom line.
In that case of the Thirsty Beaver, I love going by there on the plaza and seeing the Thirsty Beaver wedged right in there around and surrounded by the big high rise. because obviously the owner of the Thirsty Beaver must have actually owned the land that he was on. He wasn't just renting the building. He must have owned it and owned the land. Otherwise, it would have been swallowed by that building around it. So I'm sure that that's why he's able to stay there. And it gives me amusement every time I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it sits on 0.06 acres. It's about as small as a lot can be. But they're very happy for all the extra customers, I'll tell you that much. That can walk there. All right. Well, I don't have a lot more to share. I did put the link for the city budget process in the chat, so grab that. And then the county budget process is ongoing at this time as well. And I'll put more details in the email so that you guys can have your input and have some influence. I put this slide back in because as much as we do these emails and meetings and so on, I still get calls and emails like, what is happening at Mallard and Sugar Creek? Well, this is what's happening. They're constructing this apartment building. Soon we'll start seeing some stuff coming up and then it'll become more obvious. But this is ongoing. There's a lot of construction ongoing. And I know nobody on this call right now probably has forgotten what's going on over there, but that is under construction. We don't have a lot going on with rezonings right now. Let me just go. These are the pending rezonings that are still in the process. They've had their community meetings, all of them. This first one here, which is actually at United Methodist Church, and I would love for somebody like Jeanette to come and speak at City Council sometimes in favor of some of these petitions, because all we hear is the opposition from the neighborhoods. And we have such a crisis of especially affordable housing in the city. And every unit, really every unit, whether it's a luxury unit or a subsidized unit, helps with more housing. And yeah, that's my little bugbear, because I work in real estate and I just see how unreachable, how unattainable our prices are in Charlotte, and how hard it is for young people to even get their foot on the first rung of home ownership, or even an affordable rent so they can save for home ownership. It's a huge problem, and it's a huge problem nationwide, really, but especially in cities like Charlotte that are so desirable, and people are moving here at a rate of 200 or some per day. So just putting that out there. This project is a partnership between the church and True Homes. They want to add some townhomes to their site right there at West Sugar Creek and Harris Boulevard. It will come up for a city council vote, and it'll be very interesting to see, because the council members really are under a lot of pressure from people who already own $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 homes in the area, who don't want affordable housing nearby in their backyard. And you go in just about any part of Charlotte, you will see a mix of incomes and home values. It's more sustainable that way than to have concentrated wealth and concentrated poverty. So just having my 5 cents. Sorry, it's a little more than 2 cents. that's inflation. But these are the three rezonings that are currently in different phases of the process. The first one I was just talking about, it's coming up for the last kind of part of the process, which is the city council vote, which I believe will come up now in April at their zoning meeting. And then the other two are in various stages. They haven't come before. They've not had a public hearing. They've both had community meetings, but the next step will be the public hearing in front of the city council, which is also done on the third Monday of every month at the city council zoning meeting. And you can attend those, you can watch them online. And then once has the public hearing and you can speak, for or against these petitions also in front of city council. You can sign up to speak. Once it goes through the public hearing process, then it comes to us on planning commission to the zoning committee, and we take a vote, which is not it's not legislative. It has no weight except as an advisory to the council. So that's where those two are. So not a ton of rezoning activity going on right now. But if you want to know more, these will be in the slides, and these are links to the projects.
Teresa, that middle one there, that has Michael Barnes' name, is that Michael Barnes, the former city council member?
I think it might be. I corresponded with him via email, and I think I may have asked him that question and he didn't respond. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I had the same thought. It might be, and I could not attend that community meeting. I don't know if anybody else from the board was able to get to it. But yeah, the presentation and so on will come to city council probably this month at their zoning meeting. So we'll get more information on that petition. But yeah,
also rezonings there, the sign was probably there for a while and I just didn't take notice of it. But directly across Sugar Creek Road from Royal Oaks, there's a sign there for a rezoning that I tried to look up and I can't remember the number. It was 2025 dash something.
I think,
and I don't know what it was about. Is that one?
Yeah.
So I couldn't find it when I tried to look it up online like a month or so ago. Now is it back out there again, or what is it about?
Yeah, it should be there now. I think there is a bit of a delay between the sign and the website being updated. I'm not sure, but definitely the information is there, and they held their community meeting already.
Well, I didn't know anything about it, so okay.
Yeah. Well, if you go to the rezoning.org and look up this petition, you can see they're not doing any special conditions, so it's just a straight rezoning, so there's no site plan associated, but it is a parcel at about 2 acres right on West Sugar Creek.
Right. Like I said, it's directly across the neighborhood.
Yeah.
There, so.
1800 West Sugar Creek, if you wanted to look it up on Polaris too, you can see.
Right.
Yeah, and N1C would just allows slightly more density than N1B, and sometimes it's because of the constraints of the site, the higher density helps to offset the cost of developing it in the first place. But I don't know exactly. I don't have a lot of information there, but so far the only document they have on the rezoning is the minutes from the community meeting.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that anybody attended. I don't know anything, and I didn't even get. I guess I was, even though I'm like a block and a half away from it, I didn't get notice of this. So
No, the only people that would get notice are people that are within 300 feet. And
yeah,
then if you're not on, you should be on the neighborhood
well, I
contact
used to
list
be.
for
I used
Derita
to be.
Statesville Road, and then
Well,
you would get anything within a mile.
and I
But
did not. So I
I,
don't.
I'm I want to make sure that you're on that list because we try to make sure all our board members, because
Mhm.
between us, we should cover the whole area. One of us should get a notice for everything that is filed. And then, of course, I see stuff as it comes to city council for public hearing, but it's nice to get it a little earlier than that when the developer is doing community meetings.
Yeah, because I would have been obviously interested in knowing what's going on there.
Yeah, I agree. So would I, because it's definitely within that.
And like I say, I
mile.
did look. I know I looked within like a month or 2 months ago, and I didn't see anything out there about this at all. It wasn't even on the website. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
There's definitely a bit of a delay between,
well,
and it's different things. I mean, there was something that's on the website, but they didn't post a sign, which is this the one up there with True Homes that is off of Sugar Creek and Harris Boulevard. I still don't know if there's an actual sign. I'll drive by there again, but a couple of months ago there was no sign for that rezoning. So I don't know what's going on with that, but we're also having trouble with recycling pickup. So go fill out the city budget survey.
yeah.
I think you'll find they may be spending money on all sorts of abstract concepts and not quite enough on cleaning up and making sure signs are placed.
Is that the issue with the recycling pickup? Is it finances? Is it?
I have no idea. I mean, I
I
don't
have
know.
been
Yeah,
Are
wondering,
you also
why?
having an issue, right? I mean, just
Yes,
everywhere I drive in town, I see that people are keeping their green bins out
yes,
indefinitely almost, and they're not
yes.
getting picked up on the, yeah. And so I haven't seen a communication from the city about that. But it seems to be citywide because really I drive all over and I just see, bins out for longer periods. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
well, I don't know how everybody else's is, but ours for two iterations, they didn't pick them up on time on the day of the pickup, but picked them up like ours is Friday on Fridays, every other week, and they missed like the back-to-back ones like that, but they picked them up later, like on the Monday or Tuesday later.
Yes, same thing here.
And but this Friday they picked them up on the scheduled day.
On
So
the skip, yeah. So maybe it was a temporary hiccup.
hopefully,
I'm
yeah.
not sure, but it does seem to be going on. I see a question in the chat from Felicia, and this is, we're neighbors. Felicia's in Cardinal Glen. I did not mean to click over to that site there, but that's the site plan for the United Methodist plan for townhomes. But Felicia, you had a question about the land that's being cleared on Oneida at Graham Street, basically across from Moss, and that's not a rezoning. It's a long, it's an industrial zoned parcel which has just changed hands. And from what I understand, they're putting a new building there, which they are offering for sale. So I don't know exactly what is feasible right there, but it didn't go through a rezoning process or anything. It just goes through the city's permitting process because they already had the industrial zoning. It was just unused and sort of a wooded parcel, and now it's been cleared. Yeah, it's a little bit shocking to see, but that's Yeah. That industrial zone predated even Allen Hills. So, and the zoning did not change.
Okay, thank you. I just wondered if there were, I was wondering if there were apartments or townhomes or something else going there.
No,
But
not
thank you.
there, but there is a parcel that's on Oneida, kind of next to the apartments that are there, the Mayfield senior apartments.
Yes.
There is a parcel there that will be developed with apartments. Same thing, they got that zoning probably close to 30 years ago, so the zoning never changed. It's been zoned for multifamily probably when they zoned for those apartments for Mayfield.
Okay.
They did that. So there was no rezoning there, but I believe they've started working on that site. You'll probably see it before I do, because I don't always go that way out of the neighborhood. But yeah, there is a company. We had a meeting with that developer somewhere along the line. It should be in our recordings. But yeah, they will be adding a new apartment building on Oneida as well. I'm not sure when all of that will start, but looks like the industrial building right on the railroad tracks is going to be sooner rather than later. I wish somebody would buy the old truck tech and clean it up.
Yes.
Which is really part of my comment to the city is, it's hard to figure out. And when you do their budget survey, it's not on there. Like the things that cause us so much despondency and, disappointment in where we live is businesses that have long been operating, and some of these, like Truck Tech, which is no longer Truck Tech, and you can't even see the buildings anymore because they have so much junk stored on that, junk cars stored on that lot. It's a hazard. It's an eyesore. It absolutely affects our property values. You tell people to come into Allen Hills on Allen Road South, that is what they're going to see as they come in. And I would love for the city to allocate more budget to dealing with businesses and property owners like that than spending all their time trying to micromanage new projects where they are, investors are putting their own millions of dollars on the line and investing in our communities. We have, businesses like that are just single-handedly destroying the spirit of the community. This is a 10-cent opinion, but I wish I could find a place to put that on the budget survey. I tried to enter a comment on their thing, and I don't know if it's my my computer or what, but I don't think my comment was ever loaded. But that's really where I would like to see the city spend more money, is on code enforcement, especially businesses. And just we spend so much time and energy and millions of dollars on approvals and permitting and stuff to get stuff built, and then almost nothing to make sure that we enforce the city's ordinances and hold people accountable, and especially businesses should be held accountable for the way they make our communities look.
Teresa, you would think that at
maybe I
a
missed
minimum they could look at that site and say, there's got to be some sort of environmental hazard going on there, like you're talking about with that, just a pile. It's become a junkyard now. With the former owners, they did a great job of keeping that place nice and neat
They're
as a pin.
still the owners,
But
Thomas. They did
but
not sell.
well,
They're
then
still the
whoever is in
owners.
charge now is
Yeah,
doing is created a. I don't even know how they have a business there anymore. You can't even get into the thing.
I
So
know. No, I know.
I don't get it.
And Sylvia has been on this, and I miss Sylvia. I wish she would get back on these calls, but I know she's got a lot going on. Just, you know, she's just turned 85. So I think we can let her slow down. But Sylvia has been on that a lot. Kelsey, I'll try to figure out the address. I'm not very good at multitasking on a computer. I can multitask just about everywhere else. But it's right at Allen Road South and North Graham Street.
Teresa, maybe I missed it. I'm sorry to interject. This is Jeffrey Simpson. It's supposed to be building something at the corner of Hubbard and Mallet Creek. Maybe I missed it. Maybe there's nothing going on anymore. Do you know any updates right there at the stoplight at the corner of Hubbard and Mallet Creek?
On your side of Mallet Creek?
Yeah.
I'm not aware that anything has started over there. There's a 5-acre site where there was one house before. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, it was rezoned. And at one point there was a proposal for an affordable senior housing that I don't believe they got approved for the funding from, whatever funding it was that they were trying for to make that senior housing affordable and feasible. So as far as I know, nothing going on over there, but if you tell me they're starting to move dirt or something, I'll take a look. But I believe they're still trying to find a buyer for that site, but it is it was rezoned.
Okay.
But I don't know that there's anything happening there. Yeah, I would love, Kelsey, if you can look into it. I know there's countless code enforcement cases at that address. Sylvia has even, I believe she told me, CMPD was involved at some point. And, I don't know if it's, it's partly this is a free country and we don't have a police state. And so people can kind of do what they want on their private property. But there has to be a limit. And I don't know the process for really having teeth in any consequences for property owners that allow such a thing.
Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure fines and citations are just piling up and it's not solving the problem. I don't know what can be done.
Well, Teresa, I mean, you're right, is that this country's always had a lean towards property owner rights and that sort of thing. But when they become a public nuisance, then a lot of times the government and or bodies will step in to stop that sort of thing. You have a certain right as a property owner, but if you're creating a nuisance, no, that leaves your property and creates a problem for others around you. You're not allowed to do that. So
I know, but how do you stop it? That's the question.
Well, that's the thing.
I think they're
you're right.
being fined, they're being cited. I don't know.
Well, I think part of it is follow through, like you're talking about. It's spotty, maybe. Maybe they have been fined about this here, there, and that sort of thing. But you've got to stay with it. Somebody's got to be dedicated to stay with it and get to a point where that business can no longer function as any way, shape, or form because they can't afford it anymore, or something, or are forced to clean up their act by court order somehow.
Yeah, and I don't know, it may be coming down to that. I'm not sure. Maybe
and maybe you have to build the case. There's all kinds of things going on there. Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, a lot of the time you just hear that, there isn't a budget for it, but when you realize that the city has almost $1 billion budget, I think maybe our priorities are a little screwed up if we can't take care of all the stuff we've already built. But
well, Teresa, in a corollary to that, though, I will let everybody know here that my current problem in my neighborhood is the fact that, like we've talked about, a lot of these rezonings for these higher density things are along major streets. But right in my neighborhood, they've come in and they've torn down one of the homes in my neighborhood, single family home, and decided that because there's that lot and an empty lot beside it, they're going to come in and build townhomes right in the middle of my neighborhood. And in the past, they would have, I'm sure, probably had to have some sort of rezoning in order to get that kind of density on those two lots. But now, apparently, they get that by right. So there's no input that the neighborhood has at all. We have no idea how big it's going to be, what it's going to look like, how many units there are. We have no say-so in it at all, quite frankly. And I still don't know anything about it. So, while you're talking about, yes, a lot of people, we need more affordable housing, at the same time, what's to keep people from just coming in and tearing down any of the homes in my neighborhood, changing its entire environment or way of life for this sort of thing? When does that, what's the limit to that anymore? So, and maybe that's a problem I have to face for the future in my neighborhood. I guess it could happen to any of the homes in my neighborhood, but that doesn't sound like it's a good thing either, on the flip side of what you're talking about.
yeah, well, it's just that the growth and change is coming, it's spreading out. There are neighborhoods that are much closer to Charlotte that had that radical change over the last 30 years. And now it's our turn, kind of. And I think cities have to evolve. And especially cities that have such relatively low density and have just sprawled. They have to evolve. And yeah, I'm pretty realistic on that. I mean, I know I don't control what my neighbor can do. And for decades you could tear down a single family home and you could only replace it with a single family home. And so that's why I had somebody describe, I've got to see if I can find a good example here, but he said, this is my house and this is the neighbor's house, and they're both single family houses. That's what's been going on in older neighborhoods, closer in, for decades. And in my opinion, humble opinion, not so humble maybe, but it is better to have more houses than one giant single family home if you're going to tear down a single family home.
Well, tell that to the places like in Myers Park and where I just went through the other day over there in NODA. Are they tearing down those homes? Yeah, they're tearing down those single family homes and they're building giant McMansions there. So yeah, I mean, you got the opposite going on there. They're building giant, they're replacing these smaller homes with giant homes. Yeah. So you've got that going on too. Yeah. But the reason why they do that there is because the land value is so high. But out here, the land value is not nearly as high as it is in those places like Myers Park, NODA, south of town, in the Wedge, that sort of thing. So when they come out here, they get the land for cheap. Because when this house was built and the houses in this neighborhood were built, we had to have larger lots because they had to accommodate a well and a septic tank because we didn't have city services out here then. So that's the reason why the land lots are larger than usual. But at the same time, now that looks attractive to people who come in here, will tear down a single family home because I can put in 3 homes in its place or more, or I can put in townhomes that are even more dense than that. So, and while there's got to be growth, yes, that's good to live in a city that there's growth. That growth is not being managed well at all. We've talked about this before. The city is simply way behind in keeping up with developers, period, stop. So you worry about, the slowdown, the process of the developers. I'm not worried about slowing them down, quite frankly. I'm worried about us having a quality of life that is acceptable going forward in the future, and not just saying, let's throw in things as dense as possible. And that's the good thing because we need it.
I gotcha. All right, folks, you heard it here. We did discuss kind of these things over and over, and the place to get involved is, the city council sets policy, and the stuff that is happening right now is according to the policy that we have in place. And if we want to see that change, we need to figure out, the process there. Or lean on your city councilors. They do pay attention, believe me. All right, folks, I think that's all that I have. There's a lot to keep up with. The 77 debate, the red line, of course, and then the Sugar Creek and 85, the corridor of opportunity, the Sugar Creek corridor, that update in May, on May 19th, which will include the mobility corridor, which is a project that is funded, which is going to provide some mobility between Derita and the light rail station on West Sugar Creek, the blue line. So I will send out all those details, but we need to make sure we're showing up for all those conversations, so that when things start happening years from now, we'll remember that we did have a part. It's crazy to me that any of this takes so long to come to fruition. Some of these things, like the mobility along West Sugar Creek from Derita to the light rail, is about 5 years in the process. And I think possibly they're getting to a point where they may start doing land acquisition, etc., whatever is needed. So we'll get more details on that project in May, and try to support Jeanette and Champion House of Care and Derita Presbyterian right in our community that is doing a great job there. And of course, the budget for the city and for the county. Go and put in your 10 cents, 20 cents, $2. I don't care. Just go and make sure that people in Derita show up as participating in these surveys. And I think that's all for now. Thank you so much for being here. And the next one will be May 7th, I believe. First Thursday, yes, May 7th at 9 a.m. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
Thank you.